Even if you're not interested in makeup, you should know this. James Charles is still around and doing his thing while being a danger. If you don't know, James Charles is a makeup guru who was outed as seeking teenage boys on social media, straight boys, for intimate purposes. He confessed to that, but nothing happened. The youngest was 14. Not only is James searching for underage boys, but he gets a kick on turning straight kids, as if they are some sort of prize he deserves. That's really creepy, no? It's grooming. He's taking advantage of easy-to-manipulate teens for personal purposes. He was also caught on Tinder using a female profile looking like a girl seeking straight men. That's not good, is it?
I'm desperate.
Well, he is a celebrity, but that doesn't mean these stories don't happen in the real world. A perfect example is in this episode of Catfish, where we see a predator's tactic on how to lure a straight young man using a web of lies that end up turning against him.
I just moved back here from Spartanburg like 6 months ago. That's where me and my ex-girlfriend moved to.
Oh wait, so if you just moved back 6 months ago, you said you've been talking to Stephanie like a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever, you're 23, you're supposed to be figuring stuff out.
This is Brian. He's 23 years old and he's been talking to Stephanie, this woman he met online, for approximately a year. Of that year, the last half he was in a relationship. So basically, he was cheating on Stephanie with this other girl and vice versa. Not looking good, in my opinion. I love that Neve completely disregards this as something kids normally do.
It's round! It's round!
Cheating is bad, and it shows a lot about yourself and how you see relationships and respect. To me, this is something extremely interesting because think about this. Brian has been talking to this chick he has never met in person, nor video chatted. And this lady apparently has no social media. She's 22, by the way. Those are stupidly neon red flags, and yet, while finding a real human woman to be and mingle in person, he chose the mystery one. Apparently, Brian went all in. There I can see him being 23 and wanting to experiment. Not the cheating part.
So there's this guy, Isaac, on TikTok, and he's always like my positive attitude. Isaac messaged me. He was like, I've got my friend Stephanie, who I think you would look good with. And he sent me pictures of her. And I was like, yeah, give her my number. And then when she called me, it came up on a blocked number.
Not justifying the cheating, but at 23, you are still easy to manipulate, especially when the other person knows you on an emotional level. Stephanie and Brian share similar experiences growing up in broken homes. Well, that's what Stephanie claims. And another thing, this Isaac person, what's up with him? He has an inspirational TikTok and he contacted Brian to give advice and he decided to give him Stephanie's number. Okay.
Wait a second, so do you even have her number at this point?
No, it's literally a blocked number every single time.
She has to call you? You can't even call her?
Yes.
So he has to wait for an unknown caller in the hopes she calls him? There's a power dynamic here that's really creepy. Stephanie told Brian that's her work phone, so she cannot receive text, calls, or pictures, and the photo he has of her are thanks to Isaac. Isn't that interesting? She says she doesn't have social media because she doesn't like drama.
Liar!
And she has no pictures because she has no friends. What about Isaac? They live in the same town and he clearly knows her. I mean, he's the one giving her number and pictures to strangers.
She's 22. She's from Moses Lake, Washington. She grew up not so good family life, just like I did. Like my grandparents adopted me when I was 3 months old. Honestly, when we talk, it's really about how life has affected us, how we can better ourselves. I mean, she really just listens to whatever I've got to say. I ain't never had like a connection with somebody who I can just talk to. Like 2 months in, I didn't say I love you.
Wow.
I think that's called trauma bonding. If they only talk about their struggles, then yeah, of course, he has a strong connection with this woman. His life has been difficult from the start, so he's looking for someone who can understand him on a deeper level. Enters Stephanie, telling him everything he wants to hear. And even if he deep down realizes there's something wrong in this relationship, he's willing to turn a blind eye because she makes him feel good.
You know, sometimes we'll get intimate.
Have you guys talked about meeting up?
I've asked to do it, and every time I'm working, but whenever I get a month off, we can do something. It's not happened one time.
For a whole year, she didn't have a vacation.
I have to go to work, y'all. I have to go to work. I have to go to work. I have to go to
work.
But they still got dirty on the phone. Neve asks about Isaac's involvement in the story, and Brian tells them he's not really talking to him anymore, but they are still in each other's socials.
Is there any chance that it is Isaac?
I would flip the hell out.
You can't FaceTime with her. She has no social media.
I've heard his voice though.
And he's talked to Stephanie on the phone, so you would know if you're talking to a girl.
The crew has a lot of limitations, but at least they know her full name, so the search begins. They find a defunct Facebook page that takes them nowhere. Then they search for Isaac and contact him to get more information about Stephanie. His page looked legit, and he looks like he's currently in a relationship with someone else.
I ended up talking to him, and I said, hey, I have a friend, she's single, but I haven't really kept up. Yeah, we met at some apartments that my friend used to live at. I can definitely contact her, but I feel like if Stephanie wanted Brian to have her number, then he would have it.
Unrelated to anything, doesn't Isaac look like Hispanic Sam Smith? Isaac tells Neve and Cammy he will contact Stephanie because if she wanted to give her real phone number to Brian, she would have done that. So there's a reason why she calls him from a blocked number.
Hi, Neve?
Yeah, hi, who's this?
Hi, this is Stephanie. From my understanding, I never thought, we would actually meet in a relationship.
Brian's been opening up to you and making time for you for the last year, and he just deserves to know where that's going.
I have to think about this.
Bye.
Okay, so hear me out for a moment. 3 possibilities here. 1, that's an older woman. 2, a transgender woman. Or 3, a dude faking their voice. Pick your favorite. Anyway, they arrange a Zoom call the next day to finally meet this Stephanie person. But this lady, in quotations, because I really think it's Isaac, has demands.
I want to do this for
wowzer.
Brian, so yes, but it will have to be a short call.
That's
We'll
crazy,
take
but yeah.
whatever we can get.
The entitlement on this bitch. She was the one who made everything so difficult and escalated a relationship she was not willing to keep in the first place.
That it was this serious. I thought it was just flirty and having fun. I'm actually married. And
Wow.
that was a lie. I do care about Brian. He's a great guy, but our relationship can't go past this.
Stephanie says she was talking with Brian because it was just party and having fun. What? Where's the fun in having a heart-to-heart conversation about their childhood and the struggles they had to face? Where's the party in there? I think if she had stopped there, Brian would have left with a different emotion and not so stabbed in the back, in contrast to what's going to happen next.
Well, do you have anything to say to Brian? This is a big moment for him.
Dude, I can't do this anymore. I'm sorry.
What happened? This woman is not Stephanie. She was just the cover. The real Stephanie has always been Isaac.
Wait a second. Who is that woman that was just talking to us?
That was my friend. I felt like it was less embarrassing, if it was to be a woman, a married woman.
So it has been you talking to Brian this whole time.
It has.
I need evidence.
Hi, I'm Stephanie. And how are you?
The fact he perfected that voice is kind of a tell. This is probably not the first time he does this kind of thing. And the way it all started, it was him who contacted Brian, and it was him who, after knowing his past, created a similar one so they could bond and fall in love. This was all planned. This grown-ass man preyed on a young man straight into falling in love with him. Let's see if Isaac takes any responsibility.
I just want to say that my intentions weren't bad. The more that I got to see your social medias, the more that I feel like I started to fall for you. Still the same person.
You're not the same person.
I am the same person, same personality. Every time that I told you I'd be supportive for you, every time I told you I'd be there for you, that was me.
So Isaac stalked him on all social medias, knowing he was not his type. Brian is not gay, and by what I'm hearing, neither is he bisexual. But that didn't stop him from creeping into his life in one way or another.
There would be times where he would forget to say, send this to Stephanie, and be a shirtless picture. So was that solely for Stephanie? Definitely has sent kissy emojis, little kissy emojis when he's telling me goodnight.
Wow. Okay. First of all, the good old, but it was me all along, famous catfish phrase. No, it was not you. It was never you. and then you try and turn the blame onto Brian? A regular conversation with emojis, Isaac transformed it into what? Marriage proposal? Whatever the case, Isaac is repugnant, a manipulative person who doesn't care if he steps into other people's personal space. He wants what he wants, and he is going to lie and gaslight you into liking him. That's the real Isaac, not Stephanie. That was just the facade he used to manipulate the people around him. I'm glad everything is public so Isaac can either change his unflattering personal trait or served as a warning for the people who are involved in his life or the new ones to appear. But this shows how the people, manipulators, can be so nonchalant about what they do. That's why James Charles feels so secure nothing is going to happen, because there are no consequences. The least we can do is talk about it and disavow the behavior. I think chastising these individuals will show society who the real enemy is. Thank you for watching.